حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا محمدا عبده ورسوله وخليله. عباد الله، أوصيكم بتقوى الله وطاعته وكثرة مخافته ولزوم أوامره، فإن التقوى شعار المؤمنين ودثار المتقين ووصية الله تعالى في وفيكم أجمعين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كلام الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة في الدين ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. Brothers and sisters in Islam, if we compare the living standards of people nowadays and 30-40 years ago, definitely from the living standard of the way we live, overall we are making better compared to what people has done in the past. From the resource perspective, from the standard of living, like the technology, the way of life. But meanwhile, if you ask anyone that, especially those who have enough time to spend 40 years in late 70s and 80s and now, that they definitely will tell you the growth is not in all of the sides. That there are certain areas in the life are reducing dramatically. And there are certain things are, of course, getting better. If you ask from the social part of it, communication and kindness and mercy among people, families, tribes, definitely that part has reduced. It's not the same like in the past. That's from the side of the social. When you come to the religion and the conscious, we call it al-dhamir, all those are also people we will feel that the people of this time is not the same people of the past. And from the understanding perspective, it's supposed to go parallel, at least not to reduce, that part to stay on. But unfortunately, that's the part is always going down more. Feel it in the family you are living in, with the children that you are living in, with the families around you, from yourself as well. You are not the same person to have the same mentality of like you had it 30, 40 years, because you are part of this community, part of this people who are living in. You will be affected directly or indirectly. So that's the part which we are lacking. Now, from the religion perspective, so why that will be affected? Why that will be a point that people will not be the same like in the past? Because religion should not, it has to be on the contrary side. I remember beginning of 2000 even, 2003, 4. At that time, even the Quran was not available on the phones. I mean, iPhone was coming out very new, 2004 or 5, around that time. So there were no apps for the Quran. I remember when the kids, I would take them or you travel somewhere, you have to have a mushaf in the car. Now, with the phone, you have all the masahif with all of the reciters, that all of the time, the way you choose even the font, you increase it, you reduce it, you speed the recitation, like luxury, full luxury there. And then the same for the kutub hadith. Same for thousands of the Islamic books that in the past, you will barely get any of those easily. So you have to go to the library or to the bookstore or order it online to get the book and read about it. Now everything is available. But still, I won't really exaggerate. If I ask not only this masjid, any other masajid, if I make a quiz of what are the arkan of salah, the pillars of the salah, 80% will fail. If I give a paper as a quiz to anyone, write me the arkan of salah, the pillar of the deen, of the prayer that you are doing, 80% will fail. They won't be able to count what they have to do to make sure that their salah is counted right. If they don't do this, the salah will be cancelled. It's just, and every time people repeat it. So why people lost focus on certain things that they do it every day? I get to a point is matter of the area which is impacted is the matter of the al-yaqeen, certainty. The certainty is the area. What's the definition of the yaqeen from Islamic perspective? Islamic perspective is where the heart reaches to a stage for a subject that it won't la yughayir wa la yahul. Do not change the status of the belief and the conscious about that subject. So the matter of the seen and unseen will be the same for that person. When you get to that point of the certainty, al-yaqeen, is kamanzilat al-ruh fil jasad. How the soul is important for the body, the certainty and the yaqeen is important from the religion perspective as well. So why that will be impacted? You are on the social media, say Facebook, an example. Even you try to block so many people not to come to your site, but you can't block the ads. Even the groups that people who are your relative, the relative could get a link and post it or share something which is not a right content, but it will come to you. So the subject is that you will see the Quran and then suddenly something is completely different from the Quran, another subject. So the matter of Islam and non-Islam items will be the same for you. So nothing will be triggered. When you see a verse, somehow by time it becomes normal, like any news, someone is jumping out of the roof to somewhere else. Maybe you will be more amazed to look at that event compared to what you'll see the verse about the day of the judgment. This is just the way, because the information is so much is feeding it to you, you will mix up between what's important, what's less important. And you will lose the focus on exactly what is important for me for this life and the hereafter. And you will be in that pattern. And how many people will go and grab a book and read it in a subject, per subject wise? Not many. So the people are focusing only the time that they have on the social media from all of the platforms that are available. So that's where the matter of the yaqeen will be reduced. Wallahi, few days, I was amazed. I get a call from my mom. She's illiterate. She doesn't read and write. She was looking one of the local channels back home in Kurdish language. The subject was, there were two persons on the debate. I mean, the people, they grab subjects which they are not good at it. They were talking about al-naql wal-aql from Islamic perspective, matter of the naql wal-aql. And she was confused. She called me, she said, what is this naql and aql? These people are fighting on it, and they are. So I really looked at the channel to see what's going on. The one who is defending the naql and aql was not even more knowledgeable, and the one he was trying to say this is not right, it has to be everything in the aql. What is the matter of the naql? Al-naql, what we get from the Quran and the Sunnah, is written for us, give to us. Al-aql, what we think and we take out of that what is good. This is matter of, from the Islamic perspective, is there. Al-naql, what is settled, what is has nas sarih, clear text on it, we cannot change it. Allah says do the prayer. Prophet ﷺ says do 5 times of prayer. We cannot change it. Al-aql is there are certain areas that we can, Islam is not clear in it. Then you'll come up with, based on that, come up with some other conclusion. Some people, they put their hands here. Some will put it here. Some put it here. Narrations are all available. It's not clear in one certain things. All of them are acceptable. But nowadays, there is a voice is coming up, is why we also go with any narration of the naql. Let's change everything to the aql. If it doesn't make sense, then let's not to do it. Let's attack even the areas which are already settled on it, to take them out and just, if it makes sense to my aql, then I will do it. If not, I will neglect it. You know what does that mean? I mean, if you come, scholars, they are smart from the beginning. That al-aslu fil ibadat at-tahrim. They said the origin, the rule of the ibadat is something is haram unless you have a proof. Nobody can say, when you say have 5 times prayer, you have to have a proof. Why 5 times prayer? You cannot come up with extra or less. So you have to have a proof. But if you come with that other thing that you say, I put everything in the aql. My brain has to have involvement of the amount of times that I pray, because I'm working 10 hours, then my prayer schedule should be changed only to 3. But the day which I work in the weekends, maybe you can increase it to 7 prayers. That makes more sense. So this is matter of the logical discussion. Now bring it here in the core of the deen. From the logical, it makes sense. Weekends, you could add more ibadah. In the weekdays that you are more busy, to make it less. But the Islam is not based on that. You can't, these are all are flexible and people could change it. Therefore, certain areas that even for any scholar cannot change it. When there is 5 times prayer, 5 times prayer, you have to have it. And the matter is done. Anybody comes with any other thing, it won't be accepted. And believe me, if Islamically this item will not be well established, we would have a big mess, worse than any other religion on this earth. But therefore, Islam is protecting itself from that matter. Doesn't matter how many voices throughout the history comes up and to say, let's not to have that, let's do it this way. It doesn't last, it will collapse, the clear text will stay there. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran says, إنما المؤمنون الذين آمنوا بالله ورسوله ثم لم يرتابوا. The believers are the one truly, the one who believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Prophet ثم لم يرتابوا. There is no any hesitation. There is certainty on that. So you have to have a certainty with the belief that you are following. Does it make sense? You follow and believe in something, but you are not even 100% sure that what you are following is right. I do it because my dad is telling me. I do it because I see my friends are doing it. I do it because my culture is doing it. Therefore, I do the same. But that's not the iman Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking. Therefore, He says, ثُمَّ لَمْ يَرْتَابُوا. They have no any hesitation in that belief that they are doing. In the other verse, وَفِي الْأَرْضِ آيَاتٌ لِلْمُوقِنِينَ. For those who are looking for certainty, there is science on this earth. Therefore, the level of the certainty are 3 major levels. Number 1 is yaqinu khabar. The certainty of the news. From the Islamic perspective, none of us saw Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. None of us saw any companions or any tabi'in at that time. But we all believe what we have inherited from them. What we inherited from them. So this is yaqinu khabar, al-Quran wal hadith. So those are that we, even with the news, we didn't see any of those, but we have the certainty this is from Allah and the ahadith from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam without any hesitation. The second part is yaqeen al-dalala, the certainty about the proof. The proof that you go out and you look at the nature and you look at your life, yourself, and look at your life, all the surrounding yourself. You look at it that you see this has to have a creator. This has to have a creator. It's not by chance. It's not by accident something, or just things are got together and they created this. We don't believe it for a car. We don't believe it for anything in our life. So how we believe it for this large universal in front of you? So we don't. So we say that it has to have a creator. So yaqeen al-dalala is where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala focus on, or will tell the people to focus on that piece as well. Number 3 is yaqeen al-mukashafa. So after those levels that you go up, it will come to the level that it will be for you as if you are living in the hereafter. Every act you do is reflected to the hereafter. Therefore, some of the scholars, they were saying, right, رَأَيْتُ الْجَنَّةَ وَالنَّارِ حَقِيقَةً. They say, truly we saw the hellfire and the Jannah clearly with the reality. People were surprised. They asked them, how come that? How come? Even they didn't come yet. How come you say, you claim that you have seen the Jannah and hellfire? They said, رَأَيْتُهُمَا بِعَيْنَيْ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ. I saw them through the eyes of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So my belief is going through his belief. When he speaks in the hadith, as if the hellfire and the Jannah is in front of ourselves. I see with his eyes how much I believe in him, the certainty, no doubt. Then the same that when he speaks, as if I will imagine myself in the same level. That's where it comes. That level is high, very, very high to get to it. But wallahi, the lucky one, وَلَا يُلَقَّاهَا إِلَّا ذُو حَظٍّ عَظِيمٍ. There are certain people, they get to that level. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if we can't be permanently to get time to time portion of it and taste the matter of that level of the yaqeen. I will finish it in the second khutbah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. من عمل صالحا فلنفسه ومن أساء فعليها وما ربك بظلام للعبيد. توجهوا إلى الله بالدعاء. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. Brothers and sisters in Islam, what are the level of the certainty? Number 1 is al-ilm al-yaqeen. Number 1 is more information. That someone comes to you, he comes from, say, Europe, from any country, and he describes, say, a fruit from that country. So he tries, says, this is that fruit, taste that, and this is the size of it, and all of those. First, without seeing anything, you try to imagine. You will imagine whatever is your library here in the hard disk. You try to imagine something to what he's talking about. If he's talking about the size of round, you try to bring up orange, an apple, or something. Directly your brain says, it's like that. Then he goes by the taste. You try to change the shape and the taste of that thing to match what the person is talking about. This matter of the ilm, knowledge. This is that level. The second is, it goes to the other part, which will be ayn al-yaqeen. Will be with the eyes. So either will show you the picture of it, or he has the item he didn't show you, you didn't touch it, or you didn't eat it yet. So it's a matter of that you are seeing it from his eyes or from the picture. Now you erase what you have in your brain, go on that. You see the picture, you'll try to bring the taste, because you didn't taste it yet. The taste you are imagining. If you say it's sour, you try to bring something. If it's sweet, you try another thing, it will taste like that. The third part, if he says, here you go, one apple or one item of that fruit, you can taste it and play with it. If it's soft or whatever, now for you it's haqqul yaqeen. Is a real part that you could touch it and do whatever. Now it will be printed in your mind as a separate item in your brain. These are the levels that even from the Islamic perspective, you go through them. Sometimes the information is more knowledgeable, but by time that you get with the level of the iman, with the level of the iman and certainty in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Prophet, then it will be level that you look at that thing to the last stage as haqqul yaqeen. That it will be the part. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in التكاثر ألهاكم التكاثر حتى زرتم المقابر كلا سوف تعلمون ثم كلا سوف تعلمون كلا لو تعلمون علم اليقين لترون الجحيم ثم لترونها عين اليقين. So the matter of hereafter, because we are in this dunya, when it comes to that, when you are in the ayn al-yaqeen, when you will be inside it, that's the part. There is not in a way that you are living with it at that time. So those levels are really important, that when the matter of the iman is always you have to push to the highest level, that no hesitation and doubt in the iman that you have. Therefore Ibn Mas'ud was saying al-yaqeen huwa al-iman kullu, that the certainty is the entire iman, because if you have hesitation, there is no way that you practice it in a better way in your life. So what are the output that you will get if you focus on the matter of the certainty in your life? Number one, it will give you the stability of the heart. Your heart will be more stable of the iman. Imagine this, that when you read from ayah see the verse from the Quran, you will take a pause on that and to look at it when you hear the verse, and so on and so forth, so that you will have that level of differentiate between items that you have full yaqeen, or certain things that, as I said, because the person is jumping from a roof down to the sea, could be, they change it with the software, could be anything. But the matter of the reality, this is when you see that text, when you hear that verse from the Quran, that you know 100% there is no doubt in that part. So your heart is always stable. Level of the iman will not come down, it always goes up. Number two is it will increase the iman, always. It will add more to it, because you are not working on reducing. فَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ إِنَّكَ عَلَى الْحَقِّ الْمُبِينَ, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Nahl. When you have that full dependency on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, will give you more. Number three is it will push you to do more ibadat. Al-iqdam ala al-ibadat. So what will make you to have that energy for making the prayer, full energy to do the fasting, to do Ramadan. Not 6 months before Ramadan you will stay and, oh, I should really, now it's coming. And so on and so forth. Or the zakah, or any other ibadah you do, you will be more interested to go toward that, or doing the hajj, as we mentioned in the last khutbah. Number five is, we go all through hardships in this life. The yaqeen, the certainty, is matter of the sabr. That it will give you the matter of the patience. That whatever comes in your life, it will give you a boost, that you look at the hereafter always. So anything in this life, it will become easy on you and will not cause you to be a problem. As some of the scholars says, that هو العبد يصيبه مصيبة فيعلم أنها من الله فيرضي ويسلم. That he knows anything comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he will have the consent on that, will accept it, what he will get it. Therefore, his heart will have that certainty with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, what are the ways to get to the certainty? Number one is al-ilm al-nafi'. Wallahi, anything that we believe in this deen. But if you say just with the mouth to say I believe it and be done with it, that's not enough. If you want to more, you have to learn more. If you don't get anything out of the knowledge and ilm, I'm talking about the Islamic ilm. I'm not talking about the physics and chemistry. Those are there, you need to do it for your living. But from the Islamic perspective, you have to have that share as well. So that to increase, to give you more guidance, to give you more what you are following, to do exactly what you are taking it as your path for your life. You know the job that you are doing is not permanent. The job you are spend all your degrees in it and all your sweats in it. If somebody comes to you to say, I will give you another job. Example, you have $50,000 with your degree, now you are doing it. If you say, I will give you $200,000 with this job but has nothing to do with the degree, will you keep the degree with it, or you move to the other job? Definitely, you leave the degree. People, I'm not talking about the nerds and geeks, but the majority of the people, they do it for their living. They will leave it. They will go to the $200,000, even though they spend 18 years of the education in that. Why? Because this one is getting better to compare what he calculates his brain. He says this one will make you much better life. Especially I'm talking about, say, halal way, everything is perfect. It's not like something this is doing the drug or gambling, but the clean job to be done. So even so, but from the Islamic perspective, when you learn something, you are building upon yourself in the hereafter to do the things right. When you stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you do it in a proper way. Number two is al-amalu bil-ilm. So now you know the stuff, now you have to act upon it, to see, and then you will get more into it. Now you will enter to the follower of the footsteps of the prophets, what the Rusuli wal Anbiya, what they have done it in their life. You go to that area where you are learning and now you are working upon it. الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. You fulfill the iman. Now is a matter of the practicing that iman, what you are doing, to show that what is the real example of this deen. Number three, al-hadharu min mawatin al-shubuhat. The areas which are doubtful, try to avoid it. You know, the areas, you know it. The area are really doubtful, try to avoid it. Don't do them. Don't commit them. Clean yourself and be on the certain areas that you know this is right. Even you might lose small things, but it's okay for you to keep it always on the right. The fourth one is at-tafakkur wa tadabbur. Believers are not like machines. Just walk and practice them, do the prayer, and at the end they didn't know what they read, what they said, what they did. At-tafakkur wa tadabbur is part of this deen. Thinking and understanding is really core of this deen. It did not come this deen to just to follow it blindly. So really you have to think, really, is this the path I have to follow? Is it the real, makes sense, is reasonable? Do that comparison, it's fine. So that with your heart you are following this. And any other ibadah you do, try to merge it with the tafakkur wal ibadah. Therefore some scholars, they added the level of the khushu' to the prayer. So they say that if you don't have the khushu', your prayer is cancelled. Why? Because the asl of the prayer is the ibadah. To know what you are saying in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you don't do it, then you are not fulfilling the core. Of course, I mean, that's a debate among the scholars. That's some, maybe it's a little bit extreme in a way because there is no measurement in a way. I mean, I'm talking about, when I say the extreme, the matter of the measuring that. So the ulama al-fiqh has to say, okay, this prayer checklist, to say if you did those ahkam, your prayer is complete. But will you get 100% mark or 50% mark or 5% mark? This is between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How much you make it perfect? Because the deen is different from any act you do. If you'll be at the business, if they give you a list of the tasks, you do them, the manager or the supervisor or the CEO of the company doesn't care. What's your intention? You like them or you don't like them. As long as you do task 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you are done, they are happy, you are happy. You get your paycheck. In Islam, it's not like that. In Islam, it's backed with the intention. So even though if you do the act, if your intention is not with it, then the marks will come down. Worse, if you don't believe what you are doing, will be defined with what? Hypocrite and nifaq. At that nifaq, it does the work, but here is not with it. And that part, you say your act will be cancelled. Therefore, the matter of a tafakkur wa tadabbur, understanding and thinking what you are doing it, always make sure that is parallel, so that what you are doing is full with the iman will come. Number 5 is a dua. So any act, wallahi, we need this, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant you, grant all of us with that. It's not easy to gain it, but it's better for the strive with it is ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to always give you the darajat al-yaqeen, always give you that certainty that the iman that we have. The last one is as-suhbah, friendship. The friends is always the one who will drive you. Find the right one, find the good one for you if you declined on the path a little bit, to bring you back and to watch each other. So this is the part where it's important on the friendship, on the family level, on the community level. All those are important to have that level of warning of each other so that we all stay on the same path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us the al-yaqeen in our iman, inshallah. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive our sins. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyikum ta'ala li qawlihi tabaraka wa ta'ala. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات المسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات اللهم آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكها أنت خير من زكاها أنت وليها ومولاها يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم لا تدع لنا في مقامنا هذا ذنبا إلا غفرته ولا هما إلا فرجته ولا ضالا إلا هديته ولا مريضا إلا شفيته ولا دينا إلا قضيته ولا حاجة هي لك رضا ولنا فيها صلاحا إلا قضيتها يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم وفقنا ووفق أولادنا لما تحبه وترضاه واغفر لنا ولوالدينا ولمن له حق علينا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم أصلح لنا ديننا الذي هو عصمة أمرنا وأصلح لنا دنيانا التي فيها معاشنا وأصلح لنا آخرتنا التي إليها معادنا واجعل الحياة زيادة لنا في كل خير واجعل الموت راحة لنا من كل شر عباد الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون قوموا إلى صلاتكم يرحمكم الله وأقيموا الصلاة
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
استووا تراصوا واعتدلوا رحمكم الله سووا صفوفكم فإن تسوية الصفوف من إقامة الصلاة الله أكبر الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. لا يستوي أصحاب النار وأصحاب الجنة أصحاب الجنة هم الفائزون لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل لرأيته خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله وتلك الأمثال نضربها للناس لعلهم يتفكرون الله أكبر سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو عالم الغيب والشهادة هو الرحمن الرحيم هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر سبحان الله عما يشركون هو الله الخالق البارئ المصور له الأسماء الحسنى يسبح له ما في السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله